Judges chapter 9. Abimelech, son of Jerubbaal, went to Shechem to his mother's brothers, and he spoke to them, and to everyone in the family of his mother's father, saying, I pray you to ask in the hearing of all the men of Shechem, which is better for you, for all 70 of the sons of Jerubbaal to reign over you, or for one to reign over you? Remember, I am of your own bone and flesh. And his mother's brothers spoke all these words concerning him in the hearing of all the men of Shechem, and their heart was inclined to follow Abimelech. For they said, He is our brother. They gave him 70 shekels of silver from the house of Baal Berith, and Abimelech hired for himself vain and cowardly men, and they followed him. Then he went into his father's house at Ephrathah and killed his brothers, the 70 sons of Jerubbaal, 70 men upon one stone. But Jotham, the youngest son of Jerubbaal, was left, for he hid himself. All the men of Shechem and all the house of Beth Milo gathered, and they went ahead and made Abimelech king by the oak of sedition at Shechem. It was reported to Jotham, and he went and stood on top of Mount Gerizim, and lifted his voice and wept, and said to them, Hear me, you men of Shechem, and God will hear you. One day the trees once went forth to anoint a king over them, and they said to the olive tree, Reign over us. But the olive tree said to them, Should I cease giving my richness with which men will glorify God, and go to be placed over the trees? Then the trees said to the fig tree, You come and reign over us. But the fig tree said to them, Should I cease my sweetness and my good fruit, and go to be placed over the trees? Then the trees said to the vine, You come and reign over us. But the vine said to them, Should I cease my wine, which cheers both God and men, and go to be placed over the trees? Then all the trees said to the bramble, You come and reign over us. And the bramble said to the trees, If in truth you anoint me as king over you, then come and take shelter in my shade. But if not, may fire come from me and devour the cedars of Lebanon. And now, if you have acted in truth and integrity, and have made Abimelech king, and if you have dealt well with Jerubbaal and with his house, and if you have done to him according to the reward of his hand, as my father fought in war for you and put his life in jeopardy, and delivered you out of the hand of Midian, but you have risen up against my father's house today, and killed his 70 sons upon one stone, and made Abimelech, the son of his bondwoman, king over the men of Shechem, because he is your brother. If then you have acted in truth and faithfully with Jerubbaal and with his house this day, then rejoice in Abimelech, and let him rejoice over you as well. But if not, let fire come from Abimelech and devour the men of Shechem and the house of Beth Milo, and let fire come from the men of Shechem and from the house of Beth Milo, and devour Abimelech. And Jotham fled and ran away. He went as far as Beer and dwelt there out of the way of his brother Abimelech. After Abimelech had reigned over Israel 3 years, God sent a wicked spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem. And the men of Shechem rejected the house of Abimelech to bring the injustice done to the 70 sons of Jerubbaal, and to lay their blood upon Abimelech their brother, who killed them, and on the men of Shechem, who strengthened his hands to slay his brothers. And the men of Shechem sent men in ambush against Abimelech on the mountaintops. They robbed everyone who passed by them on the way, so it would be reported to King Abimelech. Now Gaal, the son of Ebed, came with his brothers, and they passed by Shechem, and the men of Shechem trusted him. And they went out into the fields and gathered their grapes and trod them and made merry. And they went into the house of their God and ate and drank and cursed Abimelech. Then Gaal, the son of Ebed, said, Who is Abimelech, and who is this son of Shechem, that we should serve him? Is he not the son of Jerubbaal, and is not Zebul his steward? his servant with his son of Hamor, the father of Shechem? And why should we serve him? And if it were so that this people were under my hand, then I would remove Abimelech. Indeed, I would say to him, multiply the strength of your army and come out. When Zebul, the ruler of the city, heard the words of Gaal, the son of Jobel, his anger was aroused. And in secret he sent messengers to Abimelech, saying, listen carefully. Gaal, the son of Jobel, and his brothers have come to Shechem, and be warned. In the area around the city they stir up trouble against you. Now get up by night, you and the people with you, and lie in wait in the field. And early in the morning, at the same time the sun rises, move your battle line toward the city. And behold, he and the people with him will come out against you, and you shall do to him as much as is in your power. So Abimelech and all the people with him rose by night, and with 4 companies they lay in wait against Shechem. Gaal the son of Jobel went out and stood at the door of the gate of the city, and Abimelech and the people with him rose from the place of ambush. And when Gaal the son of Jobel saw the people, he said to Zebul, look, a people are coming down from the top of the mountain. But Zebul said to him, you see the shadows of the mountains as being men. Gaal still continued to speak and said, see, people are coming down toward the sea from the center of the land, and another company is coming from the way of Elon Menuim. Then Zebul said to him, where indeed is your mouth now? For you said, who is Abimelech that we should serve him? Are not these the people whom you despised? Go out, if you will, and fight with him now. So Gaal went out before the men of Shechem and warred with Abimelech. But Abimelech chased him, and Gaal fled before him, and many fell wounded, even up to the door of the gate. Then Abimelech went into Arumah, and Zebul drove out Gaal and his brothers, so they could not dwell in Shechem. On the next day, the people went out into the field and reported to Abimelech. So he took the people, divided them into 3 companies, and placed them in ambush in the field. He looked, and there were the people coming out of the city, and he rose against them and attacked them. Then Abimelech and the leaders with him charged forward and stood at the door of the city gate. And the other 2 companies charged forward against all those in the fields and smote them. Abimelech fought against the city all that day and took the city, killing the people in it, and he demolished the city and sowed it with salt. When all the men of the towers of Shechem heard that, they came to the meeting at Bethel Berith, and it was reported to Abimelech that all the men of the towers of Shechem were gathered together. Then Abimelech, along with all his people, went up to Mount Hermon, and Abimelech took the axes in his hand and cut down a branch from a tree and took it and laid it on his shoulders. And he said to the people with them, quickly, do what you have seen me do. So each and every man cut down a branch and followed after Abimelech, putting the branches against the stronghold and setting them on fire, burning down the stronghold as well. And all the men of the tower of Shechem died, about 1,000 men and women. Abimelech then left from Bethel Berith and encamped against Thebez and overpowered it. But there was a strong tower in the middle of the city, and there all the men and women of the city fled. And they locked themselves in and went up on the roof of the tower. And Abimelech drew near the tower and besieged it. And Abimelech drew near the door of the tower to burn it with fire. But a certain woman dropped a piece of a millstone upon the head of Abimelech and broke his skull. He quickly cried out to the young man, his armor-bearer, and said to him, draw my sword and kill me, lest men say of me, a woman killed him. So his young man thrust him through, and he died. And he went, and when the men of Israel saw that Abimelech was dead, they departed, every man to his place. Thus God repaid the wickedness that Abimelech brought against his father, by killing his 70 brothers. And God returned all the wickedness of the men of Shechem on their own heads, and the curse of Jotham the son of Jerubbaal came on them.